G'day, thanks for watching. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's get right out on the monthly time frame, see what we can see. So the very first thing is that this market is in a screaming uptrend. Yes, there have been dips along the way. They are cycles making their lows. We've got a cycle coming up where we're going to see some sort of a dip. It won't be a crash. It'll be a drop into the 18-month zone. And that 18-month zone is late April through to late September on this monthly phasing. Yes, I know that's a very wide time period, but we'll zoom in via the weekly and then via the daily. Now, what I'm expecting is that price is in fact going to make a right translated cycle such that the high will be after the half time period. And the half time is the 9-month cycle. So I'm expecting the 9-month cycle or 40-week cycle will make its low, and then price will lift out of there and break into new all-time highs. Now, at this stage, it's very difficult to know just how far to the right the high will be. It could, in fact, make a high even in the 18-month zone. And there's also a question mark as to how high this might go or not. So we need to watch that as we get closer. But right translated means the ending low will be higher than the starting low. Well, we've got the starting low down here. It's the 6-year low. And so I'm expecting that the ending low will be higher. That's what right translation suggests. Let's bring some data in. Let's check out the weekly. Well, the 18-month orb is the blue one that you can see out here on the right-hand side. And you can see that the 9-month orb is under that, and the 20-week orb is under that. So we can put a set of railway lines either side of that to pick up each of those 3 cycles and give us a sense of just when this might occur. Long way out, we can have a quick look at this. That's the 5th of July through to the 16th of August. And we'll bother ourselves with that as we get a little bit closer. But what's happened so far is this 40-week cycle has made its low. And price has started to push up, hasn't really continued very strongly at this stage, but I'm expecting that price will break its previous high over here to make the 18-month cycle right translated, and along the way, of course, we're going to get some dips. Let's bring some data in. So price for the last several weeks has essentially been going sideways. Well, we'll see why when we look at the daily time frame. But at this point in time, what matters most is the 20-week. So let's put some numbers on that. That's the 22nd of February. And the 12th of April. So that's coming up. Update cycles. Don't think this will change much. Yes, the only thing that's happened is because the data has got to the right-hand side or past the right-hand side of the 40-week orb, the magenta orb. Cycle Masters looked up here and said, yep, that's the 40-week low. If you'd like early access to these cycle outlook videos soon after trading ends, instead of delayed on YouTube, you can subscribe to the early access list. The link is at the top of the description. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. So the 40-day low or 6-week low is due between the 7th of February and the 14th of February. We're coming into that. So at some point in time, this market is going to stop going up and we'll start to dip into this period. Bring in some data. Whoa, look at that. It's certainly dropping into the 40-day low. Rid of some of these things over here. Delete that. This one's done its job. That was quite accurate, that forecast. That 40-day low was broken not only by the 20-day low, which is also the 9-week, but this second 40-day low has broken that first 40-day low. That's interesting. If we look on here and think about what's happening with the larger cycle, and the larger cycle in this case is the one that's coming out here, this blue one, as you can see, is the, well, it's 19.6, but we call it the 20-week or the 18-week. What's happening is that from this low back on the 21st of November, 2025, the 40-week low, we have got a right translated 20-week cycle. And the reason that I can say it's right translated is because its high has occurred after the half time, which is the 9-week cycle. So if you think in terms of 18 weeks for the larger cycle, the 9 weeks, the half, and we've got past the half and price has made new highs. Cyclically, what that suggests is that the ending low, when we finally get out here to the 20-week cycle orb, the ending low should be, probably will be, higher than the starting low. Well, the starting low was back at the 40-week low on the 21st of November. So the ending low should be higher. How much higher? Well, at the moment, the underlying trend is not strongly up, but that doesn't mean that this market can't turn and break into all-time highs, for instance. And if that was to happen, then we'd be in a situation where the high, which has occurred after the halftime, could continue to occur. Never say never. Whatever the case is with respect to the highs, the ending low should end up higher than the starting low. We'll keep a close eye to all of this as we get a little bit closer. Okay, thanks for watching.